A Plague's Tale, Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. What's up, guys? It's your boy Hot Top here, and welcome back to another episode of the Baka Gamers Podcast. On this podcast, me and my friends talk about all things animated video games, and on today's episode, we're going to look at the nominees for the Game Awards. Actually going to look at each category that we like and honestly decide, what we think might win this year. So, obviously, before we begin, we have the usual suspects, but we also have a returning Baka gamer, Nye's back. How's it going, Nye?
I was supposed to speak. Oh, I wasn't expecting you to give me the mic.
I'm glad nothing's changed. How's it going?
Wait, what? You didn't warn me. We had a whole discussion before this, and you didn't say, "Oh, Nayoka, you're gonna speak."
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has.
But it's good to have you back, though. All right, so we're just gonna jump right into it. So, first category up is the most anticipated game. And so the nominees are The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, so Breath of the Wild 2, Starfield, Resident Evil 4, Hogwarts Legacy, and Final Fantasy 16. Now, so I figure how we go about this. So I'll go first and kind of bring up what I think, and pretty much we can have a discussion about it, and everyone else can kind of jump in. So for me, at first I thought it was gonna be Final Fantasy 16, and then a friend of mine's actually brought up something that Square did, and I was like, dang, they really messed up there. So I think Breath of the Wild, honestly, is gonna get this one, obviously, just because there's so much hype behind it.
Are you gonna say what they did?
Oh, yeah. So basically in a recent interview with, I think, Yoshi P, they brought up a lot of POC, people of color. Basically, the story takes place in medieval times, and they felt that in that time period, from what I can tell, they didn't think there weren't many people of color in the place that they're doing it, so they figure instead of focusing on people of color, we're gonna try to focus more on the characters and their personalities and how much they differ from each other. And it pretty much rubbed a lot of people wrong way, just because black people of color or black people pretty much existed then, and when they got their history wrong.
I didn't draw attention to this. I promise you, if they didn't say anything, a good percent of people would not have noticed for shit, honestly.
It's probably a question that prompted it, so it's
yeah, but they thought
the question directly did say, hey, why aren't POC in the game? Honestly, they could have literally just said, look, we forgot. That's it.
They got caught in the genjutsu.
No,
that's
I don't know, man. I do think that saying you forgot would have been a little bit more controversial as well.
Right.
Just
They
going
got caught in
we
the
forgot
genjutsu,
about black
bro.
people.
It honestly probably would have been a better answer.
They got caught in the genjutsu.
And honestly, with Yoshi P, and Yoshi P we trust, but this was an L. They took an L for this. I'm still hyped
think
for
that's a superficial L though.
I feel like
If I'm
that
being
is not going to
honest.
damper the hype, honestly.
Yeah,
That's not gonna damper
I'm
the
gonna be
hype.
It's
real.
not.
I do not care a little bit.
Right.
Being quite honest, I am one of those people that if they had just kept their mouth shut, I would not have noticed for shit. So even for something like this, now that I know, I'm still I'll still play it.
I don't care if they would have told me we purposely put less black people in there. I would have been like, that's crazy. Yes, I'm gonna buy this game soon as it drops.
It's not going to stop me from getting this game that I've been looking forward to getting.
Right.
My pre-order down oh crazy, there's no black people. So how much is this game again? There you go. Thank you for your money.
There any pre-order benefits?
But and of course Hogwarts Legacy being in here, I feel like it's kind of funny. I don't hear anybody talking about. I mean, there's been a lot of previews and stuff, and it does look good. I look forward to playing it, but I'm not anticipating this game.
Like,
I
you
Hey,
know what
let's
it
be
is?
very honest. Like Harry Potter does not have nearly as much hype
Choose your
or
words,
staying
Mara.
power
Mm-mm.
like as it used to, especially because of
Yeah.
certain things.
No,
Like,
that's the thing. It has the stain, but people begrudgingly are like, this is our thing. But
oh no, I'm
they
one of
don't
these
like
people.
J.K.
I'm one of those
Rowling, and then it's
people.
like,
Yeah, they're like,
I-
no.
I say this
Yeah.
as one of those people that's like, man, I still love Harry Potter, but it's complicated.
Yeah, see, me, guy like me, I'm still finna get my Wingardium Leviosas off. So,
Oh my god. I
you know
will say though, like
what?
on this list, I would say like it's probably
Yeah, it
like
doesn't fit.
it doesn't
fit.
like it's not that it doesn't fit. It's just that like literally the other nominations are so much better than it. So it's
Yeah,
like
that's
Yeah.
why
you know, like
it's like one of these things is not like the other. Like the hype levels are like way different, and then
way
it's like,
different.
Right,
Like Harry
exactly.
Potter fans are silent. Not to mention Harry Potter fans usually are in other fandoms that they're a lot more like dedicated to.
Mm.
I assure you, like any person who's playing Hogwarts of Legacy who's gonna love it is also looking at two other games on this list that they're also like, damn, I can't wait for it to come out. Like,
Mhm.
just like
Yeah.
me for real. That's me.
Like, I don't know a gamer that's salivating at the mouth like, yo, Hogwarts Legacy coming
Right.
out. Like, yeah, no.
Like if this game came out like years ago, at some point like where there was still a little bit more hype for it, maybe. But I mean, at this point, it's great. We're finally getting a proper Harry Potter game compared to like all the other little games they had in the past. But yeah, I don't think anybody is as hyped.
I don't know,
about
man.
this
It's
thing.
not proper unless I get to be a Death Eater. Is that
The
a
thing-
choice
the
for me
thing
in
that
this
would've
game?
made the thing that would have made this really way more hype is if it was multiplayer. But the fact that it isn't is what kind of like.
Yeah, that's
Wait, I thought it
wild.
was
it?
multiplayer.
I
Is it
know.
not multiplayer?
It's not multiplayer?
No,
It's not multiplayer? Yo, that's
Mm.
criminal. Get this
That's-
off the list.
That's
Yeah,
that's
that's
no
off the
no
list.
like that's what dampened a lot of it down because it's not multiplayer in the way people would have
It
wanted. Like
looks
you wanted
like
to
a
be able to
multiplayer
you wanted to
game.
be able to go to your homies joint and be like, oh
Yeah.
snap, I'm about to hit you with a wazzle dabbledy, and it's like, but nah, you can't do that.
No, that's
So-
a major miss.
That's
How you
like-
got a freaking game
yo.
about school and you're the only
Yeah,
person that
like
you can
unless
play with? Come
that
on.
changes in development, the way they marketed it was that it's not like a openly multiplayer game like people wanted. So
I'm not playing it
it's a
then.
very
Guess what?
story.
Who I
driven
look like
single
walking
player
around in
game.
school by my lonesome. Like,
That's
Because it's a
that's
story driven like single player, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. That's
Yeah.
part of why the hype isn't as crazy because that was a big like sigh of disappointment the fans had as stuff like when there was like that streak of like a couple videos where they were releasing about the game.
Mhm.
It got shown that multiplayer isn't gonna be like a core mechanic of the game.
Got
fuck
you.
this
If
game
that
then.
changes though, no, if it changes, who knows? Because they're
Right.
still like pretty like
Right.
there's still enough time. But
But at the
Nah,
moment,
I
get
can't
it
be
outta
bothered
here.
then.
Get it
I
outta
read
here.
the story. I don't need to play the story. I
Oh, no,
want
it's
to
not
be
the
able
same
to kill
story in the
people.
show. It's not. I mean, that's the shows in the books or movies. It's a different.
I don't care. I want to be able to like bully people. Like,
Oh no, I mean, I mean, like I said, I'm still getting my Wingardium Leviosa's off either way. So
okay, let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4, I feel like is a hype one, especially
That
like
is my personal pick. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
100% my personal
Like,
pick.
I
I've
would
played
say
it.
that if it wasn't the fact that Starfield and Legend of Zaldu are
Go fuck
like,
yourself.
Nah.
like, you know,
Suck my
like
dick.
Real spit. The Legend of Zelda, like everyone's been wanting the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Bro,
Like
it-
when Breath of the Wild dropped, people were looking for the sequel.
they've been
You know what I
praying
mean?
for
I-
crumbs of
Yeah.
info over the last
I
like how many
hear what
years?
you
Just any crumb of info. Remember, we were living off of just a title, not even an official title. We were living off of a beta title, alpha title, even for like 3 years, and everyone was like, "Breath of the
Living
Wild
off of a
info, Breath of the Wild
graphic.
2 info, please."
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I don't give Resident Evil
crazy.
4 is
That's
like,
crazy.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna keep it a
I'm
bean with
I'm
you.
Listen to
biased. I'm
reason.
100% biased because if I'm being quite honest, which is surprisingly not a thing that like I really tell a lot of people, but I actually really do like Resident Evil quite a bit, honestly. Like,
Resident Evil's
and
great.
I especially really like Resident Evil 4. So I'm excited. So I understand that it's not winning. I understand it's not winning,
yeah.
but
That's
it
your
is my
guy. That's
personal
your
pick.
guy.
We talking
That's
about
my
what
guy.
we think is going to win. So cut her mic.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Go,
All right.
No, I think it could still win. Like I understand that like more
Nah.
than likely it's gonna be Legend of Zelda, but if Legend of Zelda did not exist, or it's the wild card for me, I think there's potential. Like if not Zelda fans just forget to vote, or like
That's
they
crazy.
just happen to get into
Well,
an accident, Resident Evil
That's
4 kills.
That's
crazy. See, I
crazy.
think Resident Evil 4 is a shoe-in for third place.
Fuck
It's
yourself.
it's a
Yeah.
shoe-in for
Third
third.
Yeah,
for
third
sure.
place.
Third
Third
place?
place.
For sure, third place.
Damn.
Like
I
it's
think
gonna
Legend
be.
of Zelda's 1 and then Starfield. is
Yeah.
second.
Get me off this
exactly.
podcast. I don't want to be here anymore. Get me off.
All right,
this
so
I'm
podcast.
gonna
with
give
the-
Resident
I'm just being
Evil
honest.
second.
So with that being said, well, with this category, well, I guess going down, start with Glow. What do you think?
Wait, we're talking about the same category?
Same category. We're just kind of like
Yeah, basically
just-
your prediction. Like, what do you think's gonna win?
yeah.
Oh, Legend of Zelda, hands down.
All right.
Mm-mm.
I Legend of Zelda too. Just at this point.
I know it's going to be Legend of Zelda. I know.
Yeah, we
But
gonna see
I
the
know what my
tears of
heart
all the
says.
Hogwarts
I know what
Legacy
my heart
fans.
says.
All right.
We gonna see the tears of all the Resident Evil 4 people when Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom
Ooh.
gets picked.
Yo, you
gonna be
fighting
sad.
me tonight? Like,
I was just making a pun because it's called Tears of the Kingdom. So it was like,
Mhm.
what?
Mhm.
Tears of the... What?
Mm.
All
next
right.
category.
So next category is actually pretty dope. Actually, I think this is a new one. Best adaptation. So
This one.
so this one was actually this is very hard. So the
Hard.
nominees.
It's not hard. It's
not hard
at all.
Hold on, hold on.
1v1.
Hold on.
It's a 1v1.
Oh, let me name
for
let me
sure.
name them
1v1.
off. Let me name them off. So first we got
Mhm.
Arcane, Cyberpunk, the
Don't list the
Cuphead-
rest. That's it.
the
Don't even
Cuphead
list-
Show, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Uncharted. First off, before we begin, Uncharted is not a part of this list. I don't know why that's there.
I
Erase
actually like the
that.
Uncharted movie. I actually like the
You
Uncharted
like the
movie.
movie?
Leave.
I like the Uncharted.
Leave. What are you
Cut her mic.
doing here? Cutting your mic.
Cut her
What?
I actually like the Uncharted movie.
Nah.
I didn't watch
my
it, so I can't even talk about Uncharted. I didn't watch it.
It wasn't a bad movie. We're like, no.
I'm not
man.
saying it's a masterpiece. I'm not saying. Look, I went to that movie getting exactly what I expected, and I'm satisfied with that. I liked it. Shut up. With that said, we all know that this category is quite frankly a 1v1. It is
1v1.
literally
It's a
Arcane versus
1v1, bro.
Cyberpunk. We're
Yeah.
ignoring literally everything else. They don't exist. It's Arcane versus Cyberpunk.
It's a hard 1v1.
Yeah, and I honestly think like Arcane gets it just because of like the story.
Mm.
Like, just I remember when it first came out, I was like, what is this? And then like that first part came out, I was like, dang, the story, the characters, the animation, it just got better and better. Cyberpunk was okay, but
Oh,
but it was like no,
Crazy.
hold
That's
on.
the first person I've heard say okay for
No.
me.
I said
No,
okay.
hold on a minute. Let me rephrase that. It was awesome. It was amazing. But I think we could admit, in terms of like, I guess, like I heard somebody said before, like they couldn't understand, like the story was all over the place. I didn't think so. I feel like it was a
who
straight
are you
through.
talking to?
I remember, I forgot who said it, but they were like there wasn't too much, like the story wasn't very like in order. And I don't understand how it wasn't in order. I feel like it was pretty understandable what was going on. But I feel like in terms of story, Cyberpunk was a really good story, but I think Arcane had the better like story, in my opinion.
I think Arcane's gonna take it. The League
I-
fans gonna
I-
slide.
I also agree Arcane will take it. But
Okay.
my reasoning for this is I like coincidentally rewatched Arcane like literally like a couple of days ago,
Still slapped,
not
didn't
knowing this would happen. All right. So
it?
so I
Still
was like,
slapped, didn't it?
it hit so freaking hard. And I'm like, I don't play League, all right, but this made me invested in the freaking like
Lord.
lore and everything like that. Cyberpunk was phenomenal, anime classic Trigger, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
No, we're not gonna say classic Trigger. This is Trigger at their finest for once, after probably years of like
okay,
doing
it-
okay
it's Trigger at its best
and
right?
prime
Yeah,
at their
Trigger at
prime.
its best, but Arcane had way too much good going for it, so I think they're taking it.
Okay. If I'm being real, I say this as someone who, like, very recently, like maybe a few weeks ago, actually saw these two back to back for the most part. Because it was only about a few weeks ago that I finally watched Arcane finally. I know I'm late. Same for Cyberpunk. And I watched them pretty much back to back, starting with Cyberpunk. If I'm being quite honest, I actually think Cyberpunk's the better show just because it feels more complete, but I also think that works against it in a way. Because Arcane, people remember it the most simply because we're all waiting for that sequel. Cyberpunk ended in a way that you're like, you finish it and you're like, damn, that was satisfying. I can walk away now. Arcane ends in a way where it's like, yo, so sequel, when it coming out though? So I think it's gonna win just based off of that alone. Though if I'm being quite honest, like when Cyberpunk came out, despite the fact that the game kind of flopped, the amount of people that fucking picked that game back up purely because of this show was ridiculous.
That's true. That is true.
It's also
They
because
revived the
actually
game.
They started kind of fixing the game up too. Finally,
Yeah.
that was another one of those
No.
instances of like where
But this
It's a
game-
testament to Cyberpunk 2, like they actually fixed the game, so it's a decent game as well. As in with Arcane, it's like ain't nobody getting into League. If you're not into League, you ain't getting into League. That's
But here's the
I
thing,
feel like
though,
that's
they
a testament to
fixed the game.
Arcane though, because Arcane made people think they want to play League. I'm a League player. And I was watching Arcane like, dang, this kind of made me want to run it down mid. I don't even like playing League like that no more.
Like, hear me out though. Like both shows did make players go back to the game and play the game, but I feel like with Cyberpunk, like, cause like Cyberpunk, they started fixing the game before the show even came out, and like quite frankly, not that much people were like, you heard like, oh, the game is being fixed, and you were like, okay, that's cool. Anyway, but when you watch the show, like the sheer amount of people.
I know, yeah,
Even people who
rejuvenated
didn't
it,
even play the game went like their
Yeah.
sales skyrocketed off this anime. Like, so honestly, I think my pick is Cyberpunk for this one.
All right.
I gotta stick with Arcane or Reno.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sticking with
I'm sticking with
Arcane.
Arcane.
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna be the black sheep. Cyberpunk for me.
That song, the songs too. What? Come on,
Okay, I will
they had,
admit,
they had Jid on
The
there.
songs
What?
do hit.
Watch
But like
out,
with that
bro.
said, we're not even gonna discuss the rest of the nomination. This is literally just Arcane.
Yeah, the rest of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Let's see. We're skipping that one. Actually, were we skipping best debut indie?
Debut indie? Was that the only indie category?
No, there was
No.
another
Better
one.
one. There's
No,
a better
there
one.
was- Yeah,
Oh,
wait,
there's
there's
best
another one. Yeah,
General.
we'll skip
Right.
that one.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a best indie category.
Yeah.
The
So,
next one was best multiplayer.
yeah. So best multiplayer. So the nominees are Call of Duty, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
I love how you don't sound excited for this one. Like,
I'm not as big of a like these titles. Like
I have looked at them so like you were in a.
I saw Call of Duty and I was like,
Listen, as someone that has played these video games to some extent, like in varying degrees of all these, I think this is a three-way match between Multiverses, Splatoon, and TMNT.
oh yeah.
Yeah, but the thing with TMNT is, it was hype. It's a great game, fantastic game. People were very excited for it, but it kind of fell off as far as like, nobody's really talking about it anymore. Whereas Multiverses is like eating a lot of beans right now,
Mm.
straight out the can, if you will.
Mhm.
And Splatoon 3 is Splatoon 3, so Overwatch
Right.
2, everyone's mad at the game right now. The game sucks. Call of Duty is Call of Duty. It's not gonna win for real. Call of Duty players don't even like Call of Duty.
Actually,
Huh?
my vote's on Call of Duty.
Excuse
I'm
me.
telling you,
Look.
I'm telling you, Call of Duty players
Cut her
don't
mic.
actually like Call of Duty no more. It hasn't been good for years.
Exactly. Cut her mic.
But listen to me. She's on to something
Glow.
because this recent Call of Duty has been very controversial in the fact that a lot of people hate it.
Yep.
Or a lot of people really like it.
Which is why it won't win a vote. They're too split. They
And
tried, they tried to,
I
they tried to
honestly-
tap back into the old MW2. They tried to tap in, and it didn't fully work. Because they be lying. Activision do be lying.
yeah, it's definitely
Considering what it's up
definitely the
against,
controversial one.
I'm not saying it's a great game. I didn't even play it, but like when I look at this list, the first one I think is probably going to be Call of Duty. Like,
Honestly, for me, I'm thinking I'm not really too sure. I'm just gonna pick Splatoon 3 just cause.
I'm
My
leaning
head's
towards,
on-
I'm leaning towards
my head's on
multiverses the most, low
multiverses,
key.
yeah.
I'm leaning towards multiverses.
True,
Multiverse.
so
true.
this one we got a couple of people. Then we got a couple of like
Splits.
splits over here.
Yeah.
Me,
I
I'm
feel
just
like
kind of
Overwatch-
indecisive.
Overwatch 2 was good. I would say Overwatch 2, but it's not. So
You would
No.
think that free to play would do something, but nope.
it's like it's free to play, but the game sucks. So it's like, what do you?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Exactly.
that. Like
Yeah.
if they would have delivered on Overwatch 2 being great, bam, I would have been like, oh yeah, easy picks. But nope, they messed up somehow. They messed up the free alley oop they gave themselves, and
Right.
I gotta
Mhm.
say multiverse.
All right. So next category is best family, and this one-
Mario.
So, well, first is
I'm not even gonna let you
Kirby.
list them. I'm not even
She
gonna let
kinda
you
spitting.
list
Turn her
them.
mic up. Turn her
Kirby.
mic up. Hold on.
It's
She might be
plumber.
spitting.
It's
Let me just
plumber.
name the nominees. Obviously, we'll talk about it. Kirby, then Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars, Skywalker Saga, Mario, Rabbids Sparks of Hope, and Nintendo Switch Sports, and then Splatoon 3. Yes, Mario.
So yes,
Let's be
Mario.
honest.
Like,
Little
Yes,
Timmy
Mario.
is playing Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. He might be on Splatoon 3 too, but it's between Mario or Splatoon 3.
I'm
For sure.
only
Those are the
saying
only
this
ones
just
that might
because
win.
anytime there's a nomination, like anytime there's an award for best family game, the moment Mario, like a Mario game is listed, it is a guarantee win. Like,
See, but those are usually the Mario adventure type games. This is a different thing, you know.
oh, that's true. That's true. Still a Mario game
Mhm.
though, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
for
put my
sure,
vote on
for
it.
sure.
Yeah,
Come on,
like
but
the
the-
family's definitely
yeah.
sitting down on the couch playing Mario with the freaking rabbits.
Yeah.
but
Like
that-
your
but
auntie's
that-
sitting there, like, how do I distract my child today? Mario. Like it's the
Mario.
go-to family game. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. All
I
right.
feel like the only possible winners are Mario and Splatoon 3.
yeah.
Kirby
I was
was
actually thinking
cool.
Kirby, honestly.
That game was cool. Good Kirby game. But
In
nah.
terms of staying power, like Mario.
Yeah, nah. I'm not gonna lie. People were done with that game after like 3 days, a week
Mhm.
maybe.
So we're all in favor for Mario, right?
Yeah.
Watch Switch Sports take it.
Well, that'd be crazy. No, it's crazy. I intended to get that and I never did.
I'll
Just 'cause
be
they had a
honestly
volleyball
shocked. I'll
on
be
there.
so shocked. I may actually yell if it wins out of
crazy.
sheer like what the heck. Like,
Are we doing? We're not doing best of fighting, right? We're skipping that one.
We ain't doing best fighting game? Yeah, you could probably skip that.
best
Yeah,
role
Looking at
playing.
what's there.
Best role playing.
Multiverses might. Oh,
Best
JoJo's
role.
might.
Yeah.
Best
Well,
role playing.
best
Ooh,
role
best
playing.
role playing,
This is-
kind of.
This is juicy. This is juicy.
That's role play.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
I'm gonna let you list.
Elden Ring
Xenoblade
finna win,
Chronicles
dog.
3.
Come
No,
on,
no.
man.
Quiet. List nominations.
All right. So nominations are Elden Ring,
Mm-mm.
Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Look how you read it.
Mm.
So
Right?
Hey,
Cuz.
I just want to
Cuz.
say, if you're gonna list a nomination, like I even set you up for like the award shows. Like, go ahead and list a nomination. You listed so blandly until you got to Xenoblade. What the heck?
Because Xenoblade Chronicles is the GOAT. The GOAT. It's,
It's
Look.
man.
High top.
that-
go
top.
somewhere. Go somewhere.
that's
High
crazy.
top.
Nah.
I'm a level with you.
Dang.
As much as you love Xenoblade, you
It's
think
Elden
it's going
Ring.
to top Elden Ring in this
You-
category?
It's
Listen,
Look,
Elden Ring.
I have
listen, brother,
faith.
man.
I have faith, okay?
Listen,
You
brother, man.
shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
Don't go chasing waterfalls, big dog. I just don't want you to do it.
If I'm
This is
being
not
quite
worth it.
honest, I would say Xenoblade is probably the third likely to win in this
I was
list.
going to
Like,
say, because
The
Elden
audience
Ring and then Live Alive.
The audacity.
It
Third
might could be. It might be.
place.
It might be behind Triangle Strategy. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yo,
G.
that ass. Okay. Can I say this? Can I say this real quick? If I'm being quite honest, my personal pick is Triangle Strategy because I love that game. That was a really good game, honestly. Really solid good game, and a really good strategy game too. So that's my personal pick. However, even I fully accept like this isn't
It's
like
Elden
the
Ring, bro.
the most anticipated game all over again. This is like I fully know that there is not a chance in hell that like Triangle Strategy is winning this. Like you need to accept that as well because quite frankly, Elden Ring The second one, Live Alive or whatever, like even Pokemon is more likely to win over
She
Xenoblade.
said
Honestly,
Pokemon, bro.
Pookie.
That's crazy. Pokemon.
Iman,
You said
bro.
Pokemonzors. What? Yeah, but yeah, I think
Xenoblade's not winning. It is not winning.
Xenoblade might could be fourth place, big dog. I don't know.
It's third or fourth, but
Look,
it's definitely not.
Look,
even
listen,
second.
I hear you guys. I hear you. I get it. Elden Ring's in there. And obviously it's a surefire win, but I have faith, yo. I got faith.
Man, he got hoop dreams, coach. He got hoop dreams.
Look. Look, we already know the nominees for the game of the year, and it's up there. I know that's not gonna win game of the year. I already know. I've already put
What the hell
that.
to do with anything? We're talking.
Talking
He said, I
Look,
can't win that one.
I can't. Yes, I can't win it. I gotta get this. I gotta win one of these things. Come on.
You're not.
I'm sorry.
One either. You need to take your L.
Look,
Mike.
look, no. my pick is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and everyone else is
Your
Elden
pick's
Ring.
not winning.
Yeah,
Everyone
they
wants
should
to
have just
say-
waited to drop. They should have waited a different year to drop it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was their own damn
Should've
fault for dropping it this year. They
Look,
should have waited.
Look, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, y'all Elden Ring. Okay, moving on. Heathen. All right, next one is Best Action and Adventure. So
Come on, man.
nominations. Now, this is interesting.
Can you say this one a little bit more excited, please? Like,
Okay, fine. All right, fine. So the best action and anime. I mean, not do that. So we got A Plague's Tale: Requiem, God of War: Ragnarok, Horizon: Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic.
All right, listen, man.
So God of War, right?
Listen, man. Dad of War, Ragnarok.
So God of War,
on.
right?
Come on,
Mhm.
bro.
I mean, like, I think it's between the big three. Plague Tale, because I heard a lot about that. Supposedly that's pretty good. Horizon Forbidden West and God of War, but I think God of War is definitely going to take it, especially.
It's
just
not about
came out.
thinking. We know.
Horizon
what's
for
winning.
sure ain't getting it. I'm gonna be honest with you. It
Yeah.
had a very
Lukewarm.
mal received launch. It was
Yeah.
not that. It
I
wasn't
feel
hit
like
right.
that game dropped, and then I quickly stopped hearing about it.
Does it?
honestly.
Yeah,
That drop ain't hit right. They thought it was gonna
Yeah.
drop and be magnificent, and it wasn't.
like it looks good though. Like visually, it looks really good. But I'm like, after like the first week, it just went back to sleep.
Tunic was a great game. It's just that it shouldn't have came out when it did. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you can't like comparing Tunic to Dad of War Ragnarok just ain't fair.
It ain't
Comparing
fair.
straight to Dad of War Ragnarok is not fair. Like
A Plague
Come on.
Tale might have
Man,
it,
get
but
this
I,
off my screen, man. This ain't fair.
God of War.
so I
It's
think
God of War.
Plague Tale is dope, but God of War, I don't know. That action and adventuring is really great.
Oh wait, but John, you're playing Dad of War, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So yep, yeah, I believe it. I mean, I've seen like little scenes. I've tried not
I ain't even
to.
playing, and I know it is winning. Like,
Yeah.
you
That
don't have to play the game to
bro,
even know it's winning.
first 10 minutes, tear jerking, by the way. First 10
Oh,
minutes.
Mhm.
okay.
First
bet.
10 minutes.
All right. So best action adventure, I think God of War pretty much takes it.
Yeah,
Be
God of War
surprised.
slide.
Be surprising if it doesn't. That'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy.
So
I'd
next,
just be like, stop the count. Rigged.
so next up is Bex. So next one is best action game. So we got Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Shifu, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder Revenge.
I have never heard of Neon White in my life until now.
Neon.
Well, that's a good game.
That's a little bit of a sleeper on PC, honestly.
Cool game.
I
It
was
just started getting
thinking
kind of
that
played a
explains
lot
it.
like over the last couple months. Like
Mm.
a couple months ago was when it really started popping off.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I'm
But-
surprised it ended up here. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but I think Bayonetta 3 is definitely
Yeah.
taking
I
that
think
slot.
Bayo's taking it.
Bayo
Like-
3 or Shifu. Shifu's
That's what
a
I'm
sleeper
thinking.
second spot.
That's
It's
what
a
I'm
sleeper
thinking too.
second spot.
Yeah.
I like completely agree with you because, like, in my head, I'm like, it's either seafood or seafood.
Yeah, seafood.
She hungry.
Hey, yo, I actually kind of am. Like, it's either that one or Bayonetta 3. Like,
Yeah.
that's personally
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, same here.
Like
Anything
Bayonetta.
else, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, Platinum came out swinging with that game, even though the story is a little bit questionable. But moving on.
Hey.
We're settled on Bayonetta 3, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Next up, we're skipping that one. Skipping that one.
Skip all the way into Best Mobile.
Best mobile game. So So okay, the nominees are Apex Legends, Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy.
I
Okay. Before anyone starts speaking, I'm taking the mic. 1 second.
Oh,
Like,
Oh,
we
oh.
all
Okay,
G,
damn.
my fault.
All right.
okay. Originally, we were gonna skip this one because, quite frankly, it is not a question at all that Genshin's winning this. Not even up for debate, quite frankly.
Mhm.
I just wanted to talk about the fact that Tower of Fantasy somehow got on this.
They needed to fill the slots. They needed to fill the slots, so it was like,
I'm
yo, what's
shocked.
another mobile game that dropped this year?
I've-
They could've
oh,
put Candy
they could have
Crush
put
up.
they could have put that near reincarnation game up here. Honestly,
It didn't even come out this year, so clearly they're not like going off of like what came out this year.
Tower
Like,
of Fantasy was this year.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was this year.
no,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Genshin. I'm saying Genshin
Well,
didn't.
Genshin,
no,
yeah.
but it's still
Oh.
like it's still one of the biggest mobile games. So it's like you
Yeah.
gotta.
You gotta put it
Yeah,
up
so
there.
if you're going off of biggest mobile games, then like you could have picked like Tower of Fantasy. And I say this as someone who plays it and actually relatively
Right.
likes it, honestly. Granted, I haven't touched it in a while because I've been distracted with Arknights. But quite frankly, the fact that this game somehow made it on the list is like the most shocking thing for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it
I
had
mean,
a crazy launch.
it had a crazy launch, and there is a semblance of a decent game there.
Mhm.
Like, as
Yeah.
It
someone who
needs a
plays it,
couple
I'm
of
like,
updates before it gets there,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
It
they
needs a
just they
couple of
fumbled. They
updates.
definitely fumbled.
for
They
sure.
definitely fumbled the drop. It was like, and some of the mechanics of it is definitely a game that favors Wales.
That's why I'm surprised that it's up here
Mhm.
because in my head I'm just like, okay, you're not gonna sit here and say that Tower of Fantasy is even a nomination for best mobile because, like, quite frankly, it really does need a couple of updates, and that's something that I think everyone can agree on. Like, even if
Yeah.
you are a diehard lover of the game, honestly,
But I think it's one
like-
of those things where the numbers, you can't lie about the numbers.
Right.
Even though they're dwindling for Tower Fantasy, they were still at a peak. So it's like they gotta like it'd be disingenuous if they didn't acknowledge that peak at least.
okay, that's fair. It ain't
Fair,
winning, by the
fair.
way. Genshin's winning.
Yeah,
we all know that,
Genshin.
right? Like,
Yeah, Genshin's gonna win
Mhm.
that one.
100%.
All right, so moving on, best indie. So the nominees are Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Shifu, Stray, and then Tunic.
So I've played all these games. All right.
What you think?
If all right, so removing myself from the equation, and I'm being objective, it's either Cult of the Lamb, Shifu, or Stray.
Mm.
Now, if it was me making a vote here, like if I was choosing which one I was voting for, I'd be voting for either Tunic or Stray. But I'm 100 like when I think about masses and what's popping off, I'm thinking it's gonna be either Cult of the Lamb or Shifu as far as straight numbers.
Mm.
But then the silent, sneaky art people might slide in for Stray, which I think is like in the top there. So, but popularity wise, Cult of the Lamb is probably gonna get that vote.
Yeah.
okay, for me, quite honest, I think it's Cult of the Lamb for one simple reason. A bunch of VTubers are playing it right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Not
That's what I'm
even
saying.
kidding.
It's been big on
Like,
stream. It's been big on streams the last couple months. It's been really big.
Look, the pull VTubers can have sometimes. I'm like, if VTuber are and there's a bunch of VTubers too. Like,
Yeah.
granted, they were also playing Stray, which is why I also think that Stray can kind of like come in. But that was a while ago. But recently, a bunch of VTubers keep playing Cult of the Lamb. That I'm like, okay, like it's picking up energy. It clearly has staying power. It's still clearly popular. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Cult of
Because
the
you
Lamb.
know what it is? It's a roguelite, and it has functionality with Twitch. So you'll have like your chat and stuff like that can be a part of the game as you're playing it. So
Oh, it's
that's why it's a great
definitely
stream.
winning then.
Oh, I
It's
didn't know that.
definitely
That's
winning
crazy.
then. That
That's
changes the
crazy.
whole
Yeah.
game.
That's what I was
changes
saying.
everything.
Like popularity and numbers wise, like that's why I'm like Cult of the Lamb is probably gonna win because it's a roguelite, so there's replayability built into it, and your Twitch chat and stuff can be involved with it. Like the
Right.
people you get in your cult, they can be the Twitch chats people and stuff like that. Like their names will come up in the game. They can help the work that happens in your cult and stuff. So it's like there's involvement there. So that's why a lot of streamers started playing it when it dropped. And they
Wow.
also released a roadmap for the next coming years of new stuff they're gonna be dropping for it. So it's like,
Ooh, okay.
Mhm.
yeah. That's
Cult
all
of
I'm
the Lamb,
like,
then.
Cult of the Lamb's probably gonna win.
But the artsy people are probably gonna pick Stray. It might push up there.
Yeah,
I'm
like that's
changing
I
my
can see
answer.
Stray being second
Yeah.
place, and then my
I'm changing my
personal vote is
answer.
between Stray or Tunic. But I understand why people will vote for Call of the Lamb.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, like in me personally, I think Cult of the Lamb just because of popularity, but Stray might come up there and like sneak in and take that first place.
If y'all haven't played Tunic, I say y'all play Tunic.
Yeah, I've been wanting to download it. Just been
That
waiting for
game
like
is
a decent
fire.
sale on
I think it's like
PC.
the best like new era, like homage to the original Legend of Zelda style.
Ooh,
Hmm.
okay.
I think it's the best version of that I've played in like as far as I can remember right now, because the concept of it is so great. It's one of those games where they kind of just plop you in
Mm.
and you just kind of go. But the concept of Tunic is like as you're going, there's an in-game handbook that you'll find pages to, but you
Mhm.
don't find the pages in order.
Mm.
So your
Interesting.
only way to play through the game and learn through the game is finding these pages that give you like tidbits. Like for example, my first playthrough, like when I was the first couple pages I found was like page like 15 and then like 32. So and it's not in English. It's in like in-game language or whatever, right?
Mm.
So like I found out there was a shield in the game before I even got the shield. I was like, oh snap, I'm gonna find a shield somewhere. And then later I found a map of an area, and that's how you like, oh, how do I get to this area? And then you kind of just walk around, and it's dope because as you're finding out more and more of the game, you're getting this manual, filling up the manual, and then you'll be like, oh wait, I can go back to this page now because I'm in this area that I saw on the page, or I see an enemy that I saw. It's the way they made it is really great.
Mm.
But
Sounds
yeah,
like
so
a real
Sounds
shame that
really
it's not going to
cool.
win. It
Yeah,
sounds
for
like
sure.
a real
Wow.
shame
that's what I
that
said.
it's
For
But
me,
I'll
it'd
buy
be
it
between
and I'll
Tunic and
play it.
Stray. But yeah,
It does sound pretty dope, though.
it's a dope game.
I'm probably not going to play it anytime soon because I don't have time to do anything lately.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Next week I'm finna be on Pokemon, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. All right. Moving on to the next category: best ongoing. So nominees for this.
You got to
one.
say this one with energy. Say with energy.
I am saying what? Dang, what do you want me to do? All right, bet. All right,
fair,
all
bet.
right. The nominees for best ongoing games: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact.
Why'd you say Fortnite?
Why you said like a
You wanted me
to?
I was on the Final Fantasy 14.
You wanted me to add some pizzazz.
Also, I have a personal request.
What?
Like, whenever you are editing this, like, you have to put like the most epic music, like when you get to this part.
I'm gonna do that just for this podcast. I'm gonna do it.
Smash Bros. Melee as music.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Genshin Impact.
Okay, so we all know that this is really just between two games, and not like barely even between two games. It's more than likely going to be fine. Not even more than likely. It's 100% going to be Final
Yeah.
Fantasy. Like,
Unless
It's gonna be
that interview messed up 14 too.
Nah,
I
it's not.
doubt it.
14 is Square Enix's
Black
holy
people
grail
go
right
missing
now.
from like Final Fantasy 14.
Listen, Final Fantasy
14's their
14.
bread and butter right
yeah,
now.
it's their holy grail right now. That's why they don't mess up with it. That's the one thing that's keeping everybody happy.
With that
That's what's
said,
keeping
I'm
the
just
lights
gonna say
on.
this right off the bat because like it won last year. After this year, when it wins again, I don't want to see it again. Like I don't want to see it up for nomination again.
You're gonna
you'll
see it
again if it's still going. If it's still being played, it's gonna
No.
still be up there.
Like
Mhm.
if it wins, like if it's on next year, fine. I'll like begrudgingly accept that. But like after the third year, it needs to disappear from the list.
I mean,
So
is
let
it-
another
Some
game
gotta
have
knock
a
it down.
chance.
Is it-
Some gotta knock it down.
Like, is it next year kind of like the year where they do another expansion, pretty much? They're
They
getting
haven't
close to that, right?
announced another expansion. They haven't announced it yet, but
I hear
it may
what you're
be.
saying. I get it. It's always going to be popular, but I'm personally of like the mindset of just like I do like seeing other games at least have a chance to win. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't want to see Final Fantasy win for years to fucking come until like
Yeah,
until
but-
it eventually. turns
yeah,
off
but
the
these
server.
are
It's been a
with you.
quiet year though for 14. It has been quiet, so maybe I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like the main story kind of ended. It's like, we're kind of just doing random adventures in the game. So
Yeah,
it's
they
like
gotta
right now,
drop new meat.
yeah, once that new stuff comes out, it'll start bumping again for sure.
Mhm.
But
If it's not Final Fantasy, I guarantee it's going to be Genshin Impact, especially since Genshin Impact had a couple of like events this year, and then
Yeah.
like updates as well, it has been more popular than ever. It feels. Like
I'ma
a bunch
keep
of
it- I'm-
like VTubers are playing it. Giga's playing it now. Like it is very at its peak right now at this
Yeah,
point. So
I'ma keep
not
it
Final
real with you,
Fantasy,
though.
Genshin.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Genshin Impact players, we not devotees for real like that.
Mm.
Final
Why do you
Fantasy
keep-
14 finna win, bro.
Actually, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Here's the thing: Genshin Impact players are also players who play other games. Honestly, like
Cause we do
Final
all the
Fantasy players.
content and
Here's the thing: like Final Fantasy players, that's all they play. Like this,
Yep.
like this is the game
They
that they're
know
gonna.
life it.
Yeah.
I said
Like-
they, we
Yeah.
know life it. I like.
Like, as
Keep
a
me
Genshin
out of this.
Impact
I don't
player,
play
I am
it.
able to take a month off and then come back and be like, all right.
Mhm.
He's not wrong because that's literally what I'm doing with Genshin right now. Like I said, I'm really into Arcanines right now. I have not touched Genshin in like quite a while, honestly, a few months at least. And I'm gonna come back and be like, man, it's good to be back. But like, I feel like a lot of Genshin Impact players are like that, where it's like it's a game that you can put down, play something else, and everyone does it. Honestly,
It's because of
Someone's
the gap
putting
of content. Yeah, it's like
yeah, like you put it down, you play like Fate Grand Order or some shit like that. Like it's a game you can put down constantly, and many do. Final Fantasy though, you don't leave. You don't leave. You are here. Like this is all you're playing for months to come. Like
Final Fantasy finna win, but I could see Genshin.
Taking.
If anybody was to steal it, it'd be Genshin.
Mhm.
All right.
with that said, for some reason in my head,
Mhm.
I just get the strange suspicion
Fortnite.
that dead ass though,
Mhm.
dead ass. Not
You
even-
know
I get
what?
the
Right.
strange-
It was
You know
3 years
what?
ago. It
You
was
know-
3 or 4 years ago.
Like,
If it was 4 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe. Not anymore.
Okay. All right.
for some
Not
reason in my head, I'm like, why do I feel like Fortnite can win? And if it does, I'm just gonna sit there,
I
stare at my screen, and
mean,
think,
real.
wow.
Now, honestly, after I say I'm gonna move on to the next one. Fortnite, man. I mean, like,
Don't you dare! Don't
I
you
don't know.
dare! Don't you dare!
Goku.
They added Goku, man.
They added
Next category.
Goku,
Next
Spider-Man.
Next category.
Okay, okay,
Next
fine.
category.
All right, fine. Next category. I might as well stop on this one real quick. So, next category, best performance. Now,
Boy.
Oh, we're doing it?
I feel like we're just. I just want to do it because I feel like we already know who's going to win, regardless. So, I just named the nominees. So, Horizon Forbidden West actor Ashley Birch, a Plague Tale.
Sorry, I'm about to
Requiem-
butcher their names.
I'm sorry if I'm butchering anybody's name. I really am. I'm not good. Charlotte McBurney, God of War Ragnarok, Christopher Judge, Immortality, what? Manning Gage, and God of War Ragnarok, Sunny Soljic.
Olchik.
Soldic. I don't know.
Soljic. But I
You
think
pronounce
Chris,
the LJ.
Soljic. Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, well, I think we already know who's going to win. Christopher Judge. For sure. Boy. Boy. For sure. All right, we're moving on. I just wanted to stop.
Hey, come on, man. That's not fair.
Hey, bro. He even looked like he teeing in that picture too. You know,
Like, he already know. Look at that face.
I know I won. I know I won.
he over there chuckling, bro. You can't chuckle and not win.
Why do you think he
Or
put him?
Funky that
Why do
gonna
you
win.
think they put him in the middle of this list, yo?
Mhm.
Thanks for the award, T.
Yep, tee him out, epic.
All right, we're skipping now. Best score and music.
Before you start listing, don't you dare like give extra excitement for like one
You gonna-
particular
you gonna-
nomination.
Matter of fact, don't even read the name.
Don't even read the name because they ain't winning.
So the nominees are Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal Health Singer,
And that's it.
and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yo, he went up like two notches on the volume. Thought I wouldn't peep. That's crazy.
Real spit Xenoblade, yo.
Listen, man.
I'm Xeno.
Listen, nah.
Okay, look. Okay. I'll stop. God of War gonna get this just because.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be reasonable, even though I want Xenoblade to win. Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I'm right there with you, man. I want RPGs like JRPGs to win more often. Honestly, I feel you. It's not happening. At least not this year.
Yeah, I
Look.
feel like JRPs could win. It's just this ain't the one that's gonna win.
This
Yeah,
this
this
is
ain't
not
it.
the year
This
for them
ain't
to
it.
win.
This
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 is
ain't
not
your
the year.
king. Yeah, like Xenoblade
is-
Chronicles 3, that's not the nominee you put up on the podium. Like, this will beat those guys. Nah. That's not your champ. It's not your champ. Sorry.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
said that. Like,
Like I'll
like
admit,
honestly, I think the last time I thought like a JRPG was gonna like really beat like other games was Persona 5. Not even kidding. And ever
And
since then, I'm just
it
like,
did. It beat. It was slapping.
yeah, it slapped. I
Yeah.
think I don't remember. It won a couple of awards, didn't it?
Yeah.
but like I'll say this though about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. The reason why I feel like obviously it's not gonna win because of God of War's there, but also like I played practically all of them besides Xenoblade Chronicles X. And I'll admit, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 soundtrack was good, but I think like some of the older ones, like from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, was better than 3. Like I feel like there was a lot more. I feel like there were a lot more variations than the other ones here to kind of like they replaced some tracks, didn't utilize as many as they should. And so like, yeah, I'll be reasonable. Like I feel like it could have won the category if it was on par with its past games. But yeah, I can see why that, and of course, God of War being there, I can see why it wouldn't win.
It's either Elden Ring or God of War, but me personally, I'm leaning towards God of War. They went
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of crazy.
God
They
of
went
War
kind
as well,
of crazy
honestly.
with that soundtrack. I'm not gonna lie. They was going stupid.
I've
stupid.
heard bits and pieces of God of War soundtrack already, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get it.
They was-
With
they
that
was doing-
said, I can't speak like as someone who is still stuck on Xenoblade Chronicles 1, honestly, haven't heard the soundtrack, but I'm sure it's good. I'm just like, I'm not trying to say that like Xenoblade Chronicle was never gonna win anything in his entire life. It's just not this year.
It's
Not-
up
not
against-
the-
It's a bad
it's
year.
up against
Bad
Jug-
year.
not this year.
It's up against
Mhm.
Juggernauts, and it's like it's a
Yeah.
shame.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying they should have waited a couple months. You know what I'm saying?
Hey yo, man.
honestly, they were supposed to, but they got greedy. It's like let's release
The
it.
one time they don't delay.
early.
The one time they don't delay.
Should have waited,
The
dog.
one time they don't delay a game. That's crazy.
Like,
That's
they had the
wild.
warning because they announced Ragnarok last year to come out this year. So
Yo, can you imagine being like
2 years ago,
like
actually,
a game producer, and then you hear like Elden Ring and God of War is dropping this year, and you're like looking at your game mighty like side eye, like
Mhm.
maybe we should wait till next year.
would have
to
just
drop
been like,
this.
"Oh, brothers."
Word. PTO out, yo. I'd be like, nah, man, I gotta take a couple of days because this is
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm like, get that delay tweet ready
Yeah.
for the
Alright.
tweet out.
The late tweet.
All right, so
All right, next category. Let's go.
Yep, next category we have best art direction. Nominees are Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. And I mean, obviously, it's honestly this one. I think it's between Elden Ring and God of War. Honestly, Scorn.
Kind of feeling Stray, if I'm being quite honest.
Oh, Stray. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's really
Yo, you're looking at the list right now. You're like,
no.
I feel like
I saw the
like
big names.
Stray can't win, which is crazy. Like I feel like if Stray wins, it would have to be like the biggest pooling of a community possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if the
Because-
community was gonna pull for literally anything when it comes to this game, it will be for this because like it strikes me as like on this list the most like artsy game, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
no,
know.
but
Have y'all
Scorn
seen
right
the
next to it
opening,
is
though?
crazy.
I don't know anything
And
about scores, so I
also-
can't say anything about that honestly.
So if we're talking about art direction and artistic, like Scorn is nuts,
Yeah.
and then the same can be said about God of War and Elden Ring.
And
But
Elden Ring. Mhm.
yeah, like it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
the details in those games is nuts. Like, and Horizon's gonna lose just because that game it wasn't slapping for real. So it's like I feel like
Mhm.
people aren't even checking for Horizon right now.
Okay, hear me out. These are one of those votes that I feel like if you're not voting for Stray, you're going to vote for either Elden Ring or God of War. Granted, I don't know anything about Scorn, so like maybe that could win too. But like in terms of like artsy game, like that does look like an artsy game as well. So Scorn or Stray, and then anyone who would possibly vote for Elden Ring or God of War, they're gonna split. They're gonna like it's gonna be that classic people split in, so neither of them win. So I am honestly voting for Stray at this point, or Scorn. Granted, I don't know anything about it.
Reading the category like description for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation.
That's a long title.
Yeah, I know, but like Honestly,
I'm
like
saying
the amount of
Fortnite
stuff
slide.
the amount of like it's between Scorn and God of War, just because like
Mhm.
I've seen little bits and pieces of God of War. I'm trying to not to spoil myself, and I'm like,
Gorgeous.
they
right?
like they
Go-
like you look
Yeah,
at
they
20
go in.
you look like 2018's God of War. I'm like, that was nice, but you look at this, I'm like, geez, they went ham on their design. So I don't know. It could
I'll
be,
be very curious to see who wins this then.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like I think Dad of War will win, but I would not
Did
be
you just say
shocked
Dad
if
of War?
Scorn slid in.
Yeah, he's a
It's
father.
Dad of War. Yeah, it's Dad of
God
War
of
too.
War, yeah.
He ain't no god. He's a
Dad of War too,
dad.
bro.
He is a
No,
dad.
it's just the fact that this is the first time you made that joke for this of all things.
Is it? Nah, I must have said it earlier.
Yeah, he said it
Say
multiple
all
times.
night,
Yeah.
Did he? Yo, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, this is Dad of War 2. It's a simpler way to say it.
Right.
It's crazy because this might just be the most competitive category
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so far, in my opinion.
All right. So the next one, we have best narrative. Mass
This
Xenoblade
one
Chronicles
probably
3
won't
is
be
not up there. But okay.
You need to let it go.
Okay. So nominees are Plague's Tale, Requiem, Elden
Damn,
Ring,
it's not even on the list.
God of War. Quiet. God of War,
It doesn't
Ragnarok,
deserve to be on the list.
Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. I don't even know what Immortality is. This is the first time hearing that. But God of
Listen, man.
War, God of War.
Like I said, them
It's
first
God of
10
War.
minutes.
It's gotta work.
Like, to be honest, I wanna say this though. Like, whoever says Elden Ring, I didn't finish it because it's just, Elden Ring's Elden Ring. But like, in terms of narrative, like, it's very broken. You have to really look for the story.
You have to really care
Yeah.
to like actually get the narrative.
And then like at that point, it's like you're gonna be hopping on YouTube looking for those lore videos, and that's what I did. And it's really dope. The lore is really awesome. But it's like you have to, and for a person who's playing the game, you have to really look for that lore and look for all those little hits and pieces. I'm like, yeah, I ain't got time for that. God of War gives you your right then and there.
Yeah, 'cause
It's like
Elden
the
Ring-
Destiny thing where it's like when they had those little cards where it's like you can have as much lore and story as you want, but if it's the type of story where you actively need to be a nerd to like figure it out and find it out, you're not gonna win this, honestly. There's not enough people who are that dedicated. Like,
It's very passive storytelling in those kind of
Mhm.
games. Or it's like there's a whole bunch of lore, but it's not given to you. You don't experience the lore, which is like positive and negative. Because there's a certain way to play Elden Ring where you're going and you're looking for the tidbits, you're taking the time to walk around everywhere, and but yeah, that's not the majority of people.
But that's very from software, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like most of their
100%.
things are like that, where you got to go looking for the story and you're sort of just this passive character who
Yeah.
is just going through it. But God of War, it's like front and center.
Mhm.
Like you're in the middle of this epic narrative. So
speaking of epic, it has like prequels. It has a bunch of game before this.
Yep.
Like it gets that plus from that as well, where it's like so many God of War fans who grew up with this game. Remember, in all the old ones, all the way back from like the PS2 era, like it has that build up at this point.
Mhm.
There's no way it's not winning this, quite frankly.
Yeah. And the fact that it literally starts right where Dad of War 1 left off.
Mm-hmm.
Like the exact place where that ended, it starts there.
mhm.
So it's like, yeah, it's the Dad of War winning.
Yeah, Horizon's taking it.
All right.
Did you say Horizon's taking it?
This guy cut his mic. Cut his mic. All right.
Did you think I
So
wasn't gonna catch that? Like,
I don't know why they keep throwing them in like the freaking categories.
Because they
I'm
have
sorry.
to. They have to.
they have to pretend they're
It
gonna
was-
win something.
It was supposed to have a great year, and then it just
Mm. Rough.
damn. It's one of those that dropped, and you're like, damn.
So
Yeah.
all right. So the next category we got best game direction. Pretty much a repeat. Elden Ring.
It really is literally a repeat somehow. They
It's
like
really a
switched where
repeat.
like
They just
two of them
They
are.
stopped swaying
They
on.
swapped
Wait, oh
straight
wait, no.
immortality, I think.
Right. That's
And
all
they're
they
like,
did.
No, Immortality's there. They stopped. They swapped Stray and.
Immortality.
Yeah.
They pulled
no,
a hey, can I
Requiem,
copy your
Requiem.
homework?
No,
Yeah.
wait, something's not right. Here.
Requiem.
Oh yeah,
was in there.
Requiem's not there. There we go. That's what it
No.
was. I was like, something ain't here. That's
Oh,
supposed to be
okay.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna list them all because it's pretty much a repeat. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like God of War got this one.
It's God of War.
God of War.
If it's not God of War, it's Elden Ring.
Yeah, and if it's not Elden Ring, that's
It's
crazy.
Stray.
Nah,
If it's not Elden Ring, it's Stray.
Stray's
But
not
that's
winning.
crazy.
Stray's not winning.
Yeah.
Stray will
Imagine-
be like the most sleeper win I've ever
Imagine if
witnessed.
Stray sweeps.
If Stray
All of these
wins
games
this,
we picked, God of War, Elden Ring for Stray just wins all of them.
Yeah,
That'd
Stray's
be
just like, nah.
wild.
all
That'd be
the Stray
crazy.
fans came up and were like, "Hey, let us introduce ourselves."
That'd be crazy.
Kitty cat. No.
All right, so before we get to the last category, which is the game of the year, we'll talk about that. I gotta say one thing, like these, I don't know, like what, I know this is kind of like all of a sudden, and if you don't know how to answer, I'll just cut it out. Do you guys know what is your personal game of the year to you? Like games that you've played this year. What do you
I
think?
didn't play enough games this year.
Nah, I mean, like, well, I haven't. I mean, like, for me, I mean, you've been hearing me all night. What I've been saying, God, Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh, by
There
the
you
way,
go.
would you like to accept your L now? Like, would you like
Look,
to?
I've already
announcement?
accepted that it's not gonna win Game of the Year, but I am
Okay, cool.
but I'm happy that it's up there for
Mhm.
sure. That the fact that it got nominated says something. You know that it had the potential, and I appreciate that.
What's it saying?
Look, okay, let's move on then. Let's
My
move on.
personal
no,
game
no.
of the I was thinking
Yeah,
while
go
you were
ahead,
saying
go
that.
ahead.
My personal game of the year, like I was looking at the games that dropped this year real quick just to remind myself, like, okay, like this year and last year, I was looking real quick. And if I gotta be honest, the best game, I would have to give it to Dad of War.
Hmm.
That's crazy. I like I said, I haven't played too many games because like a lot of times whenever I play a game, it takes me a while to beat because I just don't have a lot of time.
Mm.
And some of the games I played this year were like old games and not games that came out this year. But however, if I'm thinking of like the few games that came out this year that I played or at the very least know about, I kind of really want Trails of Zero to win. Granted, it's not even a nomination, but like that's my personal game of the year, honestly. That's my personal game of the year.
No, like, I'm sorry. We shouldn't laugh.
Fuck yourself. Fuck yourself.
Nah,
I
it's
got
just
all these
funny.
Bakas.
Nah, it's just funny because it's like
Why are you laughing at me? That's crazy.
You guys ain't even
Nah, it's a
play
good
it. It's a
game.
really good
It's
game.
a good
Did you
game.
play it?
Did
you play
I've
it?
watched it. I haven't played it myself, but I've watched it.
I hate you. Stop talking.
Look,
Like,
I'm gonna next year.
Vouch for your game, saying it's great. You know what?
Nah, look, you'll be happy to know next year I'm gonna be playing through all the games. At least
Are you
try to.
really?
I
Are you
am.
really?
I am.
I-
Because the thing is like, I mean, a little bit of a tangent. After playing through all the Xenoblade Chronicle games, like, you know what? I'm gonna do that for each year. I'm gonna play through a series of
Trails
games.
is so much longer though.
Yeah,
Trails
but I
is
mean,
so
that's the
much
thing. That's why it's the perfect game to kind of like, you know, in between, I'll play little games, but that'll be like my main series I'll play, so I can understand the hype behind it.
Mm.
Because
There's
honest,
no hype. I'm the only one who talks about it that you know.
I hear you, but also I follow people on Twitter and like they talk about it and they share stuff for Zero and stuff. I'm like, yo, I gotta figure out what's going on.
Shadow Elite, like
No, not him, but it's more people.
Like, it's a good
Like, do
game
they
for
though?
sure.
Oh.
sounds so sad. I'm like sitting here in my corner playing like the few games I know whatever talks about. Like, okay, with that said, and this is just a personal promotion for the game. Because like I played all the Trails game. Like at least all the ones I have are localized at this point. And even the ones a few like one of the ones that aren't isn't yet. If you are going to start playing start with the Trails of Zero saga. It's just 2 games. It's honestly probably arguably the best in the series, honestly. It's a good place to start. And then you can proceed to play the Sky trilogy and then play the Cold Steel series.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
All right, I'm gonna talk to you more after the podcast about that real quick too, because I got the first Trials of the Sky. That's what I got first.
Trials
but-
of the Sky. What?
Look, we'll talk about it later. I know I just said it wrong, okay? But Glow, you have any game of the year, or were you able to play any not a
He
games?
doesn't
I
play
mean,
games.
I haven't been
doesn't
able to
play
play that many games. Like the biggest one I played myself this year was Elden Ring, which was a nuts of an experience. You know what I mean? Like it was insane, but I can't confidently say its game of the year. It was a crazy gaming experience, and if God of War didn't come out this year, it probably would have won. But God of War is something else.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
All right, so moving on to the Game of the Year nominees. So, listing them all off. Put the Smash music. A Plague's Tale, Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
I was so tempted. Words cannot express how tempted I was.
He had
Wait,
the
hold on,
zest
hold
on the
on.
last one.
Hold
He
on,
added the
right?
zest on the last
Yes.
one.
When he got to the last one, when you got to Xenoblade, I was so tempted to be like that other game that ain't with it.
Would have been
Why you whispering in my ear,
would have
bro?
cut your mic.
Why'd you whisper in my ear?
It's that mic, son. But either way,
Chronicles 3.
yeah, damn right.
I
I
mean,
put
like try to say it in a way where it's like, okay, let me not be too obvious, and it's like it's still obvious that you're
Word.
obsessed for that.
He was
one.
trying to be too school for cool.
But either way,
Okay, so
like
we all accept that this is really just between two games, right?
I'm gonna
Like
be honest.
Elden
I don't even think
Ring.
it's between two.
I mean, like I feel like God of War, honestly, like the fact it's a shame because it's so weird because it just came out, but yet it's being nominated for
But last
Game of
week
the
at the time of
Year.
recording, like
That's how
Like
fire
it
it is.
came out last week, but
That's how fire
it's
it
too
is.
damn big. It's too damn big.
It's like because
Because think
honestly,
about it like this: the alternate is if it wasn't on there, it would have been a travesty, and then it would have been like any other game that comes out next year that would have been versus this game would have been unfair.
true.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. I mean, like, it'd be crazy if God of War didn't win, because I think, like, what was that one year where Sekiro had won? And I was surprised about that. It was up against some other game, I don't remember. But, like, that one Game of the Year, and that was crazy.
yeah, but Sekiro is really good though.
Yeah, it is good, but it's like, I think whatever game it was up against, I was amazed that it won.
That actually won it. Yeah.
Yeah. So for here, I mean, like, obviously, I think we can all say God of War probably got this in the bag. But either that runner-up is
Personally,
probably...
I still think it's gonna be Elden Ring a little bit.
Yeah, so I was going to say runner-up or second place or, Elden Ring, or it's going to be not Xenoblade Chronicles 3, unfortunately, but a
You get it
Plague,
off the list.
but a Plague Tale, maybe.
yeah. I feel like Elden Ring had it until God of War dropped.
Yeah. Because Elden Ring, before God of War, Elden Ring, it was a
was a
massive
shoo-in.
undertaking. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it was really good, but God of War is kind of insane right now.
Yeah, Elden
It
Ring was
is,
kind of
it
everyone
is.
assumed it was gonna win until
God of War dropped. Here's the
Yeah.
thing, for me personally, like I do think it's gonna be God of War, but like there's like a part of me, there's like a sense where part of me is like, I get the feeling it's gonna be
Stray.
Elden Ring for some
Oh.
reason. No, that's right. That wasn't even up for debate, honestly. Like if I'm being quite honest, like some of these categories, when you look at them, you could tell what's the placeholder. Like you could tell some of them are just like,
Mhm.
we need a placeholder. We need to just like drop that in so we have 5. Like
Guerrilla
That's
Games
5,
was like,
6.
come on, guys, Horizon.
Come on, it's so pretty.
Come on. But
Also, I will say the fact that Horizon has been on quite a few categories, like I think it's been on every
had to be.
category where like God of War was listed, which is insane because it's like you're not winning, you know this, right? Like
Because Horizon's not a
Mhm.
bad franchise. It's just like
Almost
you
bad.
say it like you
were
actually
saying,
believe
John.
it.
yeah,
No,
'cause-
like John said, like Forbidden West had a really bad like drop. The first game was actually really good, but
Yep.
it's up against freaking behemoths. So
yeah.
yeah.
Like I
So it
think
looks even worse.
like honestly, I think we can all say that like sure, obviously, like we have the obvious games that are gonna win, but just like I said, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 up here, and no, let me stop. Hold on. I know I love Xenoblade. I'm gonna mention it. Okay, that's
Yeah, I'm
my
like,
favorite.
Placeholder.
That's my
You're gonna
favorite
mention the
game.
fact that's a placeholder.
But the thing is, the fact that I'm seeing that up here is pretty dope. It's like it's a game that like maybe it shouldn't have been up here, but it is, and it's like noticing the little games. It's great.
Hey, I'm
And
happy it's up there.
And plus, like in all the other categories that we saw, we saw games that we didn't think would even be a nominee for any of the categories, but it's up there.
Tower
You
Fantasy.
know? Tower Fantasy. I mean, obviously that's a placeholder, but still, it's like seeing that up there. It's great. You know, it's great to see other games, and hopefully, I mean, I already know next year's going to be interesting. That's for sure. But I think hopefully we have more variety, and that's all I really hope for with these game awards. And we'll see what our predictions will turn out to be on December 8th when it comes to these awards.
That we're about to get the
Sweeping.
It's going to sweep.
About to get me crazy.
But that's about it for tonight's podcast. Go in the comments below. Tell us what your game of the year was and what you think is gonna win this year. I mean, you probably
Tell
agree
us
with
why
us.
it's not Xenoblade Chronicles.
Look, if it's Xenoblade Chronicles, look, I'll talk to you. Okay, it's okay.
Just tell us
And tell
why
us-
it
We'll
is
be
God
in-
of
okay.
War.
If
We're in this together.
If anyone in the comments who have played a Trails of game can just go in and give it some love, for me personally, spread it a
Right.
little bit so that he
That's
can at least
dope.
say the name right. Like,
Okay.
it's hard. I don't think
Trails.
you've ever said it like right once, honestly.
Hey, look, I say it in. I haven't said it in a while. Okay. Either way, have a
And
good
even
night.
back then, you never said it right.
Forget
Good night,
it.
everyone.
Have a good night, everybody. Peace.
All right.
Peace.